Gotta have your cigarettes. Hell yeah. Okay, and I'm live here on Wonderverse as well.
Smokes, come on!
Got my Callum in the house. Welcome, sir.
What's going on, friends? Lots of updates tonight. Good stuff.
A lot.
Appreciate you, Hefe. I saw you running through the Notion board with me there at the last minute. Thanks for helping me get it all tuned in.
I saw some move. I picked up on some movements, so we kind of tackled that together. That was good. All right, fellas. I guess we could double team this one here, but I guess I'll start out with some of the items, and then I'll end off with some of the items here as well, and then you got some details to throw into the mix. So let me go over to the Syncopator call notes. By the way, welcome everybody. This is the GMI Syncopator. We do this at 10 p.m. Eastern every Friday night. Open door policy. Feel free to bring your good ideas or just come hang out with the GMI crew. And lately, we've been talking about Eat Denver because we are kind of making it our mission right now to be the first Aavegotchi DAO IRL presence, DAO sponsored presence at Eat Denver. So we'll be covering that, and that is history in the making. And we'll be talking about some Wonderverse onboarding. Want to get you guys working, at least looking at our Wonderverse dashboard. Wonderverse is a version of DWork, so that'll be interesting. I think there is a link in the chat here for you all to join in. My account posted it, and I'd love for everybody in here to take that invite, take that as an opportunity to have a look at what we're doing here. So I also see you've put some updates in there from the vault. You put some updates in from our live voting that's going on right now on our proposals. So, and you also got the Notion. You got the Notion notes down there. Awesome. So
yeah, we're kicking ass. Congratulations, everyone. History in the making. The proposal's looking really tasty. The vault, we're actually doing more favorable in the vault than we are in the main Aavegotchi server, just by a smidge of a hair there. So about 80% overall, the community supporting it. This thing is wrapping up. When do we set this up for? This wraps up Sunday after the DAO call. Is that right, Hefe?
Yeah, I think. I believe so.
Perfect. And so as soon as we get that done, just a couple of things to touch on before we kick it to core prop, but we'll rapidly deploy it to core prop. It's kind of perfect timing because we see Wagme talking with Coder Dan and the Pixcraft team about the process of maturing a sig prop to a core prop and whose responsibility is that and how do we make sure that gets done the right way. So I think this will be a good opportunity for us to kind of take ownership of making sure that this gets deployed not just quickly, but correctly on our behalf as soon as we get this settled.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so this is looking good so far. I'm looking at it also. And you can see 41,000 VLT, 82% in favor. And Gotchi Lodge, 81% in favor. So really nice to see that kind of community sentiment behind something like this. And of course, we got some extensive planning going on right now for the event, so we'll give you some updates in regards to where we're at with that. I guess we can start out with the lodge itself. So there's some updates on lodging, right? I see Mike Helms, you've put some updates in here.
Yeah, let me pull up the Airbnb here as well, because there's the initial spot we got, which, I had it secured because initially this was just something I wanted to do, go to Eat Denver and go have some fun, and grabbed this spot because it was literally just like 3 blocks from the center of the Rhino District, the River North District in Denver, which is where the core of Eat Denver event will be occurring. The venue's very close to there. It was a decent price, grabbed it, but it is indeed a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. It is relatively small, and so we've had some thoughts and concerns and discussion about potential feasibility of this as an actual home base and the challenges potentially associated with that. The good news for us is that Hefe kind of snuck one through and definitely overestimated his travel budget, liters to gallons issue there. And so that did overestimate his travel budget, so it might have freed up some potential reallocation of the budget to increase our lodging. This is cancelable until I think the like the 23rd, like the night before. So we are by no means married to this. We can indeed cancel this with no loss and reallocate into a different unit. The pros and cons. The big pros, obviously, we can get a bigger unit, maybe 4 or 5 bedrooms, for about the difference of what you overestimated in your fuel cost. Actually, about $700 to $1,000 increase is what we need to get up to something that large. The only con is that it would put us severely outside of the center of the event venue range. But we will have friends that are driving there. Smokescreens is showing up with the Sequoia and myself, and so Zombie will have a vehicle, Hefe will have a vehicle. We have plenty of vehicles, and it's not crazy to get around Denver. So it's very realistic that we should likely cancel this one out, upgrade to a larger size unit, and then just commute in for the day.
All right. I mean, I think that sounds reasonable to me. Do you think we need to do some sort of a vote before we move forward? Or do you think this will be an amendment? Because we'll have to make a little bit of an amendment probably to the
Exactly.
proposal.
Exactly. The budget's going to slide your slider down for the travel budget, and we're going to request to slide the lodging budget up in accordance. So that way we're still just talking no more, no less than the 12K that we initially talked about, but we'd like to reconfigure the setup. No Future and I were chit-chatting about it, and the current mood was to kind of just sit on our hands and do nothing until SIGPROP showed some distinction, which I feel pretty good about now. I don't think this is something we need to do on the call right this second. We can kind of just talk about it amongst the Denver team and look at some. I can pull some choice units, and we can kind of have some opinions in mind of what we want to potentially relocate to.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm all for that. I think the overall plan sounds great.
One other thing, and it may already be because obviously the size is already challenging at the 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Everyone doesn't want to sleep in the same room together. I don't get it myself, but sure. But internet speed, and the dog, right? Exactly. Internet speed might be the other big limiter. So Zombie and No Futuristic, the unit speed is 60 megabits down and 6 megabits up. Is that going to be even realistically feasible, or is that a total deal breaker?
I think 6 megabytes upload speed is quite slow. Like I think my computer for live streams runs at about 70, between 60 and 70.
No, you have that wrong, buddy. When you're streaming,
sure?
It's per second. So like when I'm streaming the DAO call where there's visually nothing happening, that's doing like 1.5 megabits per second. If we have
never mind,
like active video for me, even on streaming on the high definition, it's like 4, maybe 5 megabits per second. But that's assuming no one else is using the internet, and so that's going to be limited when you have 9 people in one house or whatever, all tied into the same internet. So we're going to have to, for streaming, the way that it's going to work is we're going to go through Ethernet. So if we get Ethernet, that's going to be faster than the Wi-Fi. And we just have to have people not sign on to the Wi-Fi to tax it when we're streaming. Okay, so at least on the data rate side, it's not a total deal breaker. So it's really just kind of the accommodations concern. Yeah, it's like if we get a stream up at 2 megabits per second, that would be fine. Like YouTube will compress it if need be. My machines are pushing out 1080, so they're gonna aim for YouTube wants it to be at least 2, but it'll keep streaming even if it's at a lower rate. I got my stream here now, just to get y'all's heads wrapped around it here. These are like kind of the Denver homes that we're looking at. So the unit that we had pulled is 135 a night. And so some of these are very realistically comparable, and these are filtering for 8 guests with 5 bedrooms opposed to 6 guests with 2 bedrooms. And so they are a pretty severe increase. They're pretty good bonus. The change here, though, is that this is the River North Art District here in the core of Denver. The East Denver events are going to be all up and down along this strip of this street right here, this Brighton Boulevard. And the unit that we're looking at is right here on Arapahoe Street. And so it's right here. So it's just this little tiny jaunt, and there you are. Obviously, as we go up to the 5-bedroom concern, all of this goes out the window because it's just shockingly expensive within that close. But there are some things as you back out a little bit. So there are some things to look at. Go ahead. Because you priced an increase
of 700 to 1,000. Couldn't you theoretically just rent another Airbnb for 2 to 3 people, keep it roughly in the same price range, but keep the base? Like what we can do is treat one as the main base. That's where I don't want to tout myself, but the media maybe should live since we're closer to the venues, and then like the off-campus housing can be a little further away. I think you could probably get a similar price rate though if you go down to 2 or 3 bedroom and accommodate those other people.
I don't know. I'll look because just the 2 bedroom, 2 bath is almost 1,400 for the whole trip stay. So if we mirrored it and get another micro like that, we're looking at 2,800 now for the whole lodging budget, and that's a pretty big jump. That's about a $1,500 increase, and it kind of really redefines our like intentions in terms of, well, now we're going to break out into 2 units or whatever we want. I'm trying to, because I don't even love the idea of making the lodging switch post SIG. And so I'm already feeling a little weird about that, quite honestly.
I completely understand what you're saying. And when I've thought about it, it's not really, I don't blame you at all because you did this. This was your own personal effort, right? You were doing Gotchi Lodge as like an independent effort.
Exactly. It's just something fun. Now it's a thing.
Yeah, it's the same way that ETH Denver for me, the only reason it's on my radar is because Pixelcraft has communicated that they want me to help. So once those two things came together, we should have clarified things because it's just for a professional business trip for having 7 people in a 2 bedroom, it's not ideal, and that's not your fault.
Agreed. No, I agree.
Yes.
Well, yeah, and I don't mind the superstructure. We'll look, because like I said, we're going to be arriving there. We'll have multiple vehicles, so we can have different transport schedules and different teams that deploy out of the house. But we'll see. We'll have to just kind of take a look at it. We'll not spend too much time tonight looking at it. But this is the next challenge. As the SIG prop's wrapping up, is we can kind of, in that little ETH Denver team chat, start figuring out about lodging considerations. That's the next maturing.
Yeah, I think actually the change that you put here, the estimated, moving up to a 5 bedroom unit, that price range would be reasonable, like a 700 to 1,000, because it's not changing the ask of the whole proposal. We're just looking at reallocating some of the funds to make sure everybody who's coming to ETH Denver is going to be reasonably accommodated during the, because it is a week-long event too, which heaven forbid, it's not we're bunking together for like a couple nights or something.
Well, and heaven forbid if Diddley does find a way to pull it out and show up, then that's extra. Dr. Wagme's also coming as well for a couple of nights, I think 3 or 4 nights, and so we do have some swell to accommodate, and we were already kind of max tapped at that 2-2. So yeah, I do advocate for increasing.
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
also advise that worst comes to worst, because we said it's like a $7,000 to $1,000 increase, that if we have to reallocate part of our compensation, I'm fine with that, because if we can get two units in that area and get that's going to be, when you think of a 30-minute drive, we're losing opportunity. That's like literally 1 hour a day wasted on travel where we could be more efficient. It's going to cost a little bit more money to be more efficient, but if we do that, I think we can execute in a much faster sense than if we're kind of out in the boonies and then we have to travel in. Every night we have to travel out. It's going to become a pain in the ass.
No, I hear you. I do hear you. Yeah, it's just trying to find that perfect needle there. So that's some take a look at Airbnb. Plan yourself a trip to Denver, for that same time range with some parameters, and everyone do some hunting. And I mean, Hardcore's throwing some tips out here about looking in Commerce City as well. And so by all means, if somebody knows something. I had to figure out where my friend lives, but he's nearby. I think Lev was talking about a potential friend that he could possibly stay with. And so is that happening or is that not happening? So there's some details that we need to kind of figure out offline.
Let's jot that down for this week for when we sync up, to make sure we work out some of the lodging and just make sure we're kind of all on the same page with that, and then we can make those amendments to the proposal. All right. I think I'm happy with that. I'm glad we worked out the internet speed. I don't know what number I was thinking of. Maybe like total bandwidth or something. I'm not sure. But I'm glad.
Download speeds, which are usually much faster.
Yeah, probably. So I'm glad that's sufficient there, and we'll work
the more
that
important part also with the internet is making sure that you don't have too many devices connected for the Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the device only does 5 devices and we've got, 5 phones and 2 laptops, then like we're all going to have issues.
Yeah.
So that's just something to be aware of.
I'm gonna have curfew times of usage.
No, just like when we're streaming, everybody needs to like get off the Wi-Fi. Just switch to your cell service or whatever, and then that way, NF and me or whoever is streaming can have the bandwidth for that time.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Man, but fucking hardcore's trying to put us in the damn shop district. we'll check it out there, hardcore. Those are good tips.
I don't know if we're gonna be staying in any trailer parks. That's for sure.
No trailer park. We'd be staying like in an industrial repair shop. That's you put as many bedrooms in there as you want.
Well, yeah, I guess you just rent the warehouse, right? I mean, then we can just get half a Gotchi gang in there. We'll just get fucking 300 people.
There you go.
So you got some notes down here. 2 small units close to Reno. Okay, you're just talking about the
Rhino.
Okay, gotcha. Eat Denver cafe plans. So we're talking about we were calling it coffee hour with the devs. Now we're calling it Biddle with friends, which I really like.
Yeah, good on Lost Local, man. He came through today, so he secured a really great location. Who's remembering the name of the place right off the top of my head? The something, the I something.
I feel like I heard mercenary, but I know that's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's like the impersonator or something like that. I'll have to look it up here in a second. But he got us a slick spot. It's essentially like taking over their balcony area inside the restaurant. It's like a coffee bar / tap house. And we'll have it from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m., I think. 3-hour slot.
It's
good job.
Improper City.
Good jobs. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Improper City. So he's already seen it himself. He was just recently in Denver, and so he scoped it out in person, spoke with the owners. Really good vibe, really good cooperation. They're going to let us capture and hijack their servings menu. He's getting some latte stencils made, so they'll be able to do some gotchis on the lattes, and they'll have some special menu items that are gotchified, and we'll have the whole place to our control for about 3 hours.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's gonna be. I think designing that, making it a whole experience is gonna be something we might have to work out the details of there. And do you mention something about the internet situation? Were we able to confirm what the, if we were able to get Ethernet access or
yeah,
for live streaming purposes?
you mean you're talking about for Improper City, huh? Yeah, I don't know yet. I have not heard details on that yet.
Okay.
We also need to find out if there's a sound system that we need. Are they going to have screens that we can put gotchi shit up on? Those kind of details.
Let me get both of those here. Let's see, follow-up notes. Also, shout out to Marvin P. He's in here with us tonight and is going to be in Denver with us. So we'll have to make sure that he gets over to the coffee shop.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Oh, if we need sound stuff, Hardcore's got some people. Apparently, he has got some roots there in Denver as well. Follow-up notes. Okay, Hefe, what did you say? Let's do some internet confirmation.
Internet confirmation.
Services.
No future mentioned, display screens.
Sound and AV equipment availability.
I'd also ask if they have any sidewalk advertising. It could be sometimes people have billboards or those little sandwich boards, anything like that we can hey, we're doing this because we're trying to draw devs, right? So
yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. They do have a nice location. Yeah, we can look it up later.
The location is nice and easy to get people into. Then what we need to do is realistically before and maybe a couple days before, have a couple friends for a couple hours go out and do street team shit where they're handing out flyers or pamphlets and just drawing attention to, hey, there's an event tomorrow or whatever because we're trying to get devs, and then kind of blow it out because we do have a budget that we're working with in terms of what our spend is, so we should keep that in mind.
Oh, that's funny. It's like 2 blocks. It's like 2 or 3 blocks away from the current Airbnb. It's just right down the street from 32nd towards Blake Street there. Looks like a good spot. Yeah, really well centrally located there. Looks like a good venue in general. It's really, really big. Cool. Yeah, I think we're going to be able to work it out. Good questions there. I got notes here. We'll kick all this over to Lost Local, and maybe he just patches us through the ownership, or maybe he'll just relay for us.
I have another question because you said it was the balcony. Was that the outdoor space that we just saw?
I don't think it's the outdoor space because I think that'd be fucked, and I'm hoping that he ain't gonna do that to us. Quite honestly, I think it's an interior second level. It's kind of like a big tall square building.
Yeah,
and I think
that's
that they
how
have
I
like a
that's how I got it too. It's a second level.
because it's an area specifically called, I think it's called the Perch, and so I'm assuming that it's this elevated venue, but it could very well be something on the ground floor on the main deck. I don't know personally.
We should also ask Lost Local if there are any partners like the Crypto Toon Goons or any of the other communities that we work with that might want to partner with us to it's our event, but it could also be sponsored by, or they could be a part of, and we can bring their community just to bring out more people.
No, for sure. I think Zombie mentioned that same thing too, is to lay on top of Cryptoon's Goons for sure, and just let them be part of our little crowd there.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. One of the things here that I thought was going to be really interesting to see if we can come up with something here was the stickers, the sticker contest, Eat Denver sticker bounty, whatever you want to call it. Do we have an idea of kind of how we might want to set this up? I think we should put the word out for artists today, tomorrow or whatever.
I think yesterday I posted it there in the GMI forum. At least it's not on bounty or anything like that. We can mature it all the way, but and let this be just kind of proof to everyone in here too is even because this runway feels a little bit longer than what I'm hearing from friends that were involved with Miami. But even now we're still feeling totally crunched. Barely enough time to get the proposals through, barely enough time to get physical merch printed, barely enough time to pull this one out. And so, every time is continuous improvement opportunity. And so Lost Local hit us with like, hey, can you guys generate like a creative Gotchi Denver thing like in the next hours? I need it now so I can submit it for proofs for merch. I'm like, Jesus, man, like it does take a little bit of time to do that. I don't do that shit myself. I gotta mobilize the troops and let people know, and we need parameters and details. So just one of them things that this stuff does take. It is not just as easy as people think it is putting all this stuff together. So all the artists that are currently on, go ahead, no future.
No, this is why I keep stressing that this is not going to be easy. It's going to be fucking work.
Oh yeah.
That's why, like, the reservations I push up. Like, I'm worried about funding stuff, and we can talk about that later. But we're in such a time crunch that if shit doesn't come together very soon, this is going to fall apart. In Miami, we had very little time. Like, I literally they booked my flight and hotel like maybe a few days, maybe a week before the event. Nothing was confirmed, like to me at least. So it's like that's why I'm trying to avoid that in this process, but we're slipping back into it, and not because of us, but it's because of the DAO, like 100%. And it's frustrating as hell, and we'll get into that later. So I don't want to derail everything, but
it's well said, and just at least while we're touching on that moment right now, anyone on call that is a pixel artist or is interested in making designs for any of these objects, we have two major creative needs, which is going to be some lightweight sticker designs, just simple, cute Gotchi by Denver by GMI, something in that realm. Anything cute and related to the concept. It can be literal and overlaid. It can be totally created, and then we're also looking at some creative resources for some fake Gotchi cards as well. And so there's two real demand needs. The fake Gotchi's got a longer runway on them. The stickers we need sooner than later, because we need to get those submitted for production runs pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get the bounty out. Let's just, I think we have enough community talent to draw on that we can make this a really short thing. Like just an initial submission thing, and then someone can claim the bounty. And I think maybe even like a week, like to give a week would be sufficient. It has to be just something cute, like you said, nothing complex. Doesn't have to be over the top. Just could even be a white background with like some basic graphics and just nice, clean.
Somebody, if we have any artists here, the concept is a Gotchi peeking over a mountains, Rocky Mountains. And on the mountains it says Eve Denver, Gotchi invasion, whatever the hell the term is. But if you can give me that, I think we're good.
Yeah.
And And by all means, give us as many as y'all come up with too. Like, I don't mind if we got 10 different sticker designs. We can, split up quantities and whatnot like that. But I don't. We're not limiting creativity on the sticker front. If we got 10, 20 awesome community source stickers, fuck it, we'll run them. The fake gotcha will be a little more specific and processed, but at least on the sticker front, it's mostly about rapid iteration. Just crank something and hand it over, and we'll take a shot at it.
Well, in that case, maybe I have a couple ideas in mind for sticker designs. Maybe I'll submit a couple of my own, and we'll get a nice array of stickers.
What I don't want to do personally is I don't want the bounty issuance to be a hindrance or a delay to design work. I want friends to go ahead and just start cranking out a little bit of design work and toss something in here. And this will probably be more like how we do the summits, where like our co-op artists or any of the contributing artists, essentially you'll just get like a flat rate reimbursement for your contribution if it's utilized. And so I don't want it to be a bounty that 10 friends are competing for that one
it's not a
small
competition.
bag. Exactly. It's like open submission for compensated contribution.
And it's like, if we used your product, and we'll make sure that we take care of you, kind of thing. Or we used your work. I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hardcore. Okay. You're dead on the money, man. I like hardcore's urgency right now in chat. He's like, let's get this shit going.
I see what you're saying. Ship it by the meeting. Yeah. Their logic budget. Yeah, I agree with all this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Hardcore, that's my plan on that too. So our biggest thing is just figuring out our increase and our decrease in whichever levers we need to final tweak, and then boom, we'll kick it over and get this shit rolling.
Yeah, the fake gotcha pieces we do have some time on, but I'm wondering, is that going to be a bounty, or is that something we seek out some of our artists to come make something like that?
If this is just my opinion, right? And there's lots of y'all here in the room. My opinion is I think we're going to end up with more than one fake gotcha is what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to maybe see 2 or maybe 3, just depending on the full definition of the needs. I would like to have us a fake gotcha that we as a community already go there with the intention in mind, and then I would love to see us find an artist at ETH Denver and gotcha pill him into becoming a published artist by the time we leave.
I'm right taking that note down. Yeah, that's cool. Become a published artist before we leave. Yeah, that would be cool. And then yeah.
So that was the hope. The bounty we could issue sooner than later and issue that out to the greater gotcha gang, and they could start competing for a particular bounty on a fake gotcha to do a collaborative publishing with GMI, which would be GMI's first published fake gotcha. So there is a little bit of historical significance for whoever we end up going with on this one.
What about Chippy? Dude, what do we think about Chippy? That would be
I'd love to get. I mean,
piece.
For sure. Just tell Anthony to make that happen.
Let's get Chippy up in here.
Little alpha on Chippy. Alpha on those. They're at 400 and something so far in the collection. This is like the first edition. It's going to get capped at 500, and there may or may not be a second edition. I've heard it may or may not be like a left-facing Chippy. But if you want to get in on this batch, it's closing at 500.
I didn't know that. Yeah, is he still doing customs,
Yes.
Right on. So anybody that hasn't seen the Chippy project, like why Chippy's significant is he's essentially like the premier, he's like the soju of Bankless DAO. He is just a really well-grown homemade artist within the Bankless DAO ecosystem, does all their comic panel work, and is really blown up, does all the Ethereum locations, and is a great guy. I like him.
Perchy's the guy. Chippy is
exactly. Perchy is the artist himself, Perchy.eth, and he's a stand-up guy inside the community there, and has spun out into this Chippy ecosystem. It's looking promising. Nothing crazy, ain't got no game, nothing like that. It's not a gotcha, but in terms of just straight ETH art PFPs, he's a pretty nice community.
Yeah, awesome.
Hey, actually, hardcore, are we talking to like Saturdays or Sundays on that? Sundays feel like they always stay kind of micro on stage, but I'm always happy to jump up there. I just don't want it to feel like a repeat of the Saturday vibe. He's just talking about in terms of anyone involved in the ETH Denver team right now, when y'all want to come up on stage and talk about the proposal, talk about the passing, talk about the movement, talk about what we're up to. So that way Hefe's not the only one that ever has to talk about it in public, which isn't true. No future, you've done a great job of talking about it. I've been real active about it. I think we've been pretty good. I've been happy with the amount of contribution, but we can't be too loud about this. This is a pretty significant thing.
Yeah, I'd say overall, you guys have been I think the main focus right now with this conversation is in the DAO forum chat in Discord. It's been the most active, it seems. And so, of course, I'm up there on the weekend, so nobody else is up there, so I can only reiterate what's kind of being discussed in there. But Hardcore is asking, what's your plan? And so for ETH Denver, I don't really know like what we really need to iterate on. There's only really one aspect here we might be thinking of changing, and it won't really change the overall budget or the ask. So, I think at this point, if people want more details, they can just look at the doc. Like we put together what I think was a pretty extensive plan. I mean, we could, we will have more granularity around our whole plan. We're getting more details every day around how this is coming together. So, maybe we should publish an updated kind of like roster or agenda for the event here over the next week. But I'd say right now we're doing our best to stay on top of whatever details are coming out and planning around that. So.
Yeah, that sounds fine. Exactly. We can talk about our final budget before it matures to core prop, because SIG prop wraps up Sunday after the DAO call. So that could be what we touch right there. The DAO call is just the last minute ETH Denver final budget revisions, and then we'll submit that in for core prop and rock and roll. That can be for the board there.
Yeah, no futuristic asking a question. What's the timeline for receiving funds from the DAO, assuming everything goes to plan? So initially we were thinking February 7th was that's the date we were aiming for. But now, I totally had kind of didn't realize there was going to be a week delay between the last SIG prop and when this core prop got posted. Like recently, just 2 core props got posted, but not the one that just passed. So I'm gonna get on that and make sure it's posted up by next week. Mm-hmm. But that added another week to the whole thing. So I mean, that was that was a little bit frustrating. But I think we can learn from that and anticipate for that next time. To add at least another 2 weeks to our timeline is something in hindsight I could say we should be doing that next time.
No, for sure. Well, and, I think, exactly. I think for no futuristic specifically, what we're concerned about is the flight securings, right? And when does that happen? Because the longer we wait, his budget estimations continue to get out of whack.
Also, I just want to make it very clear, because I've said it, but I want to make it very clear. I'm not paying for a flight in advance of funding. I work for the DAO. The DAO is a bad creditor at this point. They've been erratic with payments, so I'm not going to extend more credit or take on more debt. I don't feel comfortable with that. A few weeks ago I did, but things have kind of spiraled. So I want to make sure that's known, because it's not. It needs to be addressed, because I'm not going to wait until if Pixelcraft was paying me back, it's different. I know and trust them. The DAO has been kind of inconsistent, and I'm not willing to take on more debt at this point to work and then hope that they pay me back and pay me back what's already owed to me.
Yeah, I think and I would put it maybe there's 2 spots that I see is because I don't, especially God forbid if there's any kind of delay going to core prop, then it becomes very unrealistic for waiting on core prop settlement for your flight path, because it's going to double in cost. And so I would either issue the credit through GMI to you in the advance and let GMI hold the bag waiting on the DAO, or even if Pixelcraft wants to play ball, maybe they can issue it to you and they can get reimbursed by the DAO. But I totally agree with what you're saying there. I wouldn't want you to put your own bag on the line there, and we'll put one of the entities in that position of patience, because they can survive.
I mean, I'm okay with GMI even, covering that, because I feel like we're good for the money here. I feel pretty confident about all this. If we got to shift the risk, or the concern over to GMI, that's,
exactly. Good. Yeah, I think so too. SIG prop is really kind of my thing that I wanted to see, and I'm really happy with the support levels. I think that we're in good shape, and so I would be willing to credit ahead of that flight. That way you can get secured sooner than later, and then GMI can wait on the bag.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, because then you can just reallocate what would have went from my travel directly to GMI.
Yeah, exactly correct. Well, and Hardcore makes a good point there too. Is GMI float in the flights would be very well received per the comments in the Discord thread. So yeah, I mean, we're not scared to spend money on the fake gotcha cards as well. We're not trying to have zero involved cost whatsoever, zero incidental cost. There's definitely a level of healthy support that GMI is willing to play ball. We just ain't got 12K to blow on this event.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hardcore, you make a good point. I agree with that. So
Cool. Yeah, let's do that.
Then let's discuss that after the call. Let's work out the details of that. And
Yeah, that makes me feel much better. That makes me feel much better.
Well, it makes me feel better too because I don't want you waiting until the last minute either. You're kind of the one that's getting pinched in the corner there.
Yeah, it's also either that or I have to sell shit that I don't want to sell right now.
Yeah.
Not a choice. Nah, but the funding is en route, and so yeah, we can find the right arrangement.
All right.
Oh, FaZe and the infamous they, they will dig it.
Yeah. Okay, so Denver fake gotcha card. We talked about that. We've covered our bases with the funding aspect. Marketing. Just want to cover marketing real quick here. A few people have mentioned here to have a pitch for each audience at the event. Kind of like what some of the questions I'm sure that were thrown at Zombie today and Z5 are probably some of the things that we'll have to keep in mind if we're going to be just having conversations with people. I think, I don't think we need like 7 annoying salesmen running around at Eat Denver, but it's going to come up at the event. Like, we're going to be wearing the swag. We're going to be kind of like somewhat coordinated in that sense. And we will be handing out things like stickers and whatnot, maybe even a pamphlet. So I think there should be some sort of a, pre-rehearsed kind of understanding of kind of what we want to be talking about, that surface level explainer for somebody who wants to know about Aavegotchi. I think is something we need to have that written down somewhere, or have a pitch deck somewhere for that.
I also would suggest that this is a business trip. We should treat it like that. Maybe Lost Local. He did this kind of in Miami. We should definitely do this where, like, the night before stuff really kicks off, once we land, we have like a little orientation where we kind of know what we're doing, what our goals are, all of that stuff. And then we can plot out from there. Because the other thing I don't think we've really thought about, we've talked about onboarding devs. We talked about onboarding, just new gotcha game, right? We should probably be looking to onboard content creators, like artists, but also like streamers.
Yeah, right.
Very, very important. I've actually been talking to a couple zombies so deep in the weeds right now with this Web3 music that I'm getting caught up in those gears too. So I've been chatting with some of the musicians that are going to be at ETH Denver. There's a few of them that have their own events planned. There's a couple of raves that we've already been brought privy to. And so there will be exposure and overlap with creative individuals there as well. And so, yeah, you are very much right. That is that third audience that we'll be having exposure to.
Yeah, I would say also there's going to be Lynn's people there, and there's going to be Bankless DAO is supposed to have a presence there. So that might not be a bad crossover either, because,
Oh yeah, that would be a great crossover. I mean, we have some great talent from Bankless DAO, like yourself, Z5, Zonzi's been in here, so I think that's a perfect synergy that we've kind of had unknowingly with Bankless DAO. I'll be happy to. I think it'd be great to have something planned with Bankless DAO. Do you know if they're going to have some sort of a booth, or like what sort of presence is Bankless DAO planning to have at ETH Denver?
I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'll let you know as things evolve.
I do not know, but I will check with the events team.
Oh, I was on mute. Yep.
Okay.
Once I know what's going on, I know there's going to be a presence. I know Bankless HQ
for sure
is going to have a presence as well as the DAO, so it might be separate things. There might be some overlap there too. So
we know one of the I guess directors, planners of the DAO Denver portion as well. So we'd have contacts in that area.
And also, Bankless HQ mentioned Aavegotchi on the weekly roll-up this past Friday.
Yeah.
So awesome. If we end up at an event where, you know, HQ people are, we're just like, hey, we're Aavegotchi. What's happening, bro?
Nice.
They got a lot of eyes on them. That's a lot of
Boom.
good attention.
Hey, let me ask you this, just a cheeky question. Do you guys know whether or not Bankless DAO is funding a proposal for any community sourced marketing initiatives?
We usually have things going on. Like, it'll be a combination of people in the field who are collecting things, and then people in the AV Guild where Zephi and I work who edit things into usable content for the Bankless DAO YouTube. So,
And y'all are doing all that for free out of the kindness of your heart, right?
Pert near.
I mean, we're getting paid in bank tokens for what it's worth. I mean,
Yeah, I hear you.
but yes, we are being compensated. It's not.
It's structured with the intent from the beginning to be compensated.
It's
regularly.
not intended to be charity.
It was never set up to be free. There you go. Hardcore makes a good point too. Is maybe we can come up with a Venn diagram or maybe some other visual graphic of some of our active leads that we have to other participating DAOs already. So anyone like okay, we know that this crew right here has a Bankless DAO lead. We know that this crew has an actual Lens lead. What other active leads do we have? And then what is our prospect list? And I was talking with Jesse like that. He still needs to send me his pro notes. But he mentions sharing Pixcraft's BizDev notes so we can have some persons and protocols of interest to approach as cold relations, and then we have our heaters as well.
Yeah, that is something I've been meaning to touch base with Jesse on. Also, is to get those, like you say, their side, the PC plan, and their vision. I think he did kind of mention some of the things from earlier, which did make it into our proposal, but since then we haven't caught up. So I'll definitely reach out to him and see if we can get more details from the Pixelcraft side and things that they may want us to do. Right, like I believe they were also looking to see how this whole proposal thing would shake out, and they definitely have eyes on it. So it's looking like at least on the part of the SIG prop, it looks like things are going really well. And so they may even have more concrete answers for us than they did 2 weeks ago.
Hardcore's having too much fun tonight, man. I love having this guy in here, right? So if we got multiple friends in our crew right now that have overlap with a group, say like Lens and say like Bankless, then that's probably worth coordinating in advance. It's probably something that we can reach out to them in advance and just make sure that we let them know. Just that friendly, hey friends, I hear y'all are going, we're going. Let's make sure to stay in touch. Otherwise, we can just put them on the prospect list and have these hopefuls to make these. But by all means, everyone that's going, Smoke, all you guys, if you see a protocol or you see a person of interest that you just like in general, shoot them a quick DM on Twitter, shoot them something on Lens. Just say, hey man, East Denver, what's up? I've had a lot of conversations expand just on those cold solicitations, and half of them are going, and it's exciting, and we're planning on seeing each other, and the other half ain't going, and so be it.
Yeah, it's a post I plan on putting out there, like just a little mini thread on just the Eat Denver thing, what I expect, and just see who else is going out there. I think just little engagement posts like that go a long way before they did.
And that's
We're gonna have to be very aggressive on social media during the events too.
Yeah.
definitely, yeah, and getting your minds pre-trained before we show up is going to be a good idea. You gotta have to really go into Eat Denver mode. And so start a little cheat list. This is something I did mention to Jesse is relevant and important for us and for the entire success of our proposal is, just what we'll call like the gotchi logs, right? But as a group, we're going to be wanting accountability amongst each other for how our days are spent. If you don't get much done, so be it, but that will need to be documented in such a way that it's able to be shared with others, whether you're walking around with the actual notebook and you're making your scribbles, if you're using your phone to keep all of your notes on voice memos, whatever the case may be, you should be making the effort to track who you meet, who you talk to, leads you hear about, projects you see. There's going to be so much intel and information flying at us for the duration of the event that it's going to be critical that we do good documentation.
One thing I want to maybe clarify with the DAO when we do put in our core prop there is, how do we want these funds dispersed? Like, do we want to manage this through Wonderverse? And I can issue we can manage on our own through Wonderverse and issue bounties through there, and then just have that open so that for transparency reasons, if someone wants to see the work being done, they can look at our Wonderverse and see? Or do we want this to be more of like a, the funds go to the DTF multisig, and then everything gets dispatched through D-Work? I mean, I'm kind of curious to know what your guys' thoughts are on that, how you're seeing this, and just something to clear up before we, put
Can
in
I
the
ask
final.
for a clarification real quick?
Yeah, me
You're
too.
saying D-Work, you're talking about the DAO's
The
D-Work.
DAO,
correct?
yeah, the DAO's
Yeah.
D-Work or GMI's Wonderverse.
I would say let's
Because right
Yeah.
now it's kind of one of those things that hasn't been cleared up yet. So like,
yeah.
if we want to frame it one way or the other, I think the DAO would
I
be
would push
receptive
for
to
the
either.
DAO. I would push
The
for the
DAO.
DAO. I know that the GMI, I think GMI would do a good job of it, but it strengthens our proposal because we're flexing a muscle that the DAO has not previously flexed, and this is an
Agreed.
experiment essentially. So
Yeah. Well, Jesse's bullish on DeWork, so I think it'd be cool to see some actual deployment of DeWork. Yeah, let's actually use the dang thing, and this will
Also,
kind
it
of
keeps accounting clear. Everything will be set up and recorded, so there's that accountability, the transparency of everything.
which the Wonderverse will accomplish too, but it's almost too niche right now. Let's let
It
that
is.
be our experimental platform, and let's let Aavegotchi learn how to use its DeWork.
Yeah. No, I like that idea, and I'm all for it. So what I'll do is I'll manage the disbursement of the bounties, and I'll be there with you guys, so we can talk amongst ourselves, and then issue. I don't think I'll be issuing ghost bounties. They'll be reputation points, and so that'll just represent a percentage allocation of the whole pool, and then we can just divvy up the funds at the end based on how much work everybody did. And so I will maybe get together some sort of a process so that we're all clear on when we want to request work at the event, exactly what we have to do. Or I don't think there'll be much to do on your guys' part because most of it's going to be me issuing the bounty, and then I guess you would have to claim the bounty on D-Work, and then do whatever it is to claim it, and then that would just be recorded, and then everybody for transparency reasons, anybody with the Gotchi Gang role is already on the Aavegotchi D-Work, the DAO D-Work. You guys just don't know it yet.
Yeah, the publicity's nice.
Yeah, all the permissions are capped, so you can't see anything right now. But I think my Callum, you might be able to. And
it looks ready to roll. It looks ready to populate, and it looks ready to jump in there and use it and get to work on it. So I think that those rails are well set up there.
Yeah, so I think it's just a matter of I'll get a couple more of you guys on there this week. Just the core group there, and we'll mess around with it a little bit. I want to run some tests and just make sure that at least the core users are going to be happy with it, and then let's get it out to the rest of the DAO. It's as simple as toggling a switch. So it's really not that hard once everything's integrated.
He's just hitting us with all these goodies here. I'm putting them in the notes too in tonight's Notion, but just following up on Hardcore here in the chat. He's talking about the KPI request of getting the meetings and talking with folks here. I was thinking about this the other day. This is a really easy thing to do, which is literally like take pictures with these friends, right? When we meet a founder, take a damn selfie with them. When you meet a project lead, take a selfie with all these people that you meet and let there be a photojournalistic record of all of these meetings, and then we can make these posts after the fact. Hey, here's us meeting X, here's us meeting Y, here's us meeting Z, and ask them for the same return effort from their project we talk about and from our project they talk about. And if we can just help each other out and cross those lines, that'll be a really easy cultivation of favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love for us to. I just thought of a person on the street kind of interview question that we can do. That would be really cool for us. We should show people the word Aavegotchi and see how they pronounce it, and we'll do it for an hour.
I like that.
That's easy. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're gonna hear 50,000. There's either goat cheese. There's gonna be a lot of goat cheese, but we can't make fun of people. We gotta do it in a playful way.
Yeah,
really actually run with that too. That's a great concept in general, and give us some more things that we all understand because of who we are and where we are, but we kind of maybe neglect the fact that it makes no fucking sense to anyone else, and just cold call these people on, hey, what does this mean? That's really a fun vibe.
Yeah, you just need to open the door, but once the door is open, then you're in. And it's like, hey, you can't say this way. Let's explain what if you can't say it, you don't even want to know what the fuck it really is. But we'll go into it. We're selling cars, baby.
Nice.
Oh, I was gonna. It's funny you say that because I told Smokescreens the other night we were hanging out, and I was telling him to get his ass more involved in what we're doing here, because ironically, I think for the ETH Denver crew that's going, he has probably got more direct sales experience and marketing experience than any of us combined. He's been selling cars at professional dealerships since like the last fucking 20 years. And it's like, oh, geez, why aren't you talking more in here? Damn it, this is you might be the only one of us that can actually close a big deal.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we'll do a lot of workshop too in the room, like you're saying there. We'll kind of practice our pitches there and go get it done. It's gonna be really really fun. There's some good smoke screens, but they're not used. No, he can sell you a used one, but these are mostly new from the dealership.
Well, I actually got a Porsche going on right now for about 250K. It's got 14,000 miles. I can't think of the exact model right now, but it's a clean, nice one. And then, of course, we got all the way down to $5,000, high mileage cars. But
Okay.
no, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this trip, and I'm excited about getting in front of people and motivating and showing why we are excited about this, and uh, it's been a hard transition, between work and it's been rough, and the industry is rough right now. Everything crashed, the car sales, we were selling cars over sticker, like 10 grand over sticker, 5 grand over sticker. Now we're back to sticker or below sticker, and it's been so that's what's kept me, occupied right now for the most part. But I'm definitely keeping an eye on this, and I'm holding on to my Kaliumas and Hefe and No Future and Zombie, and I'm really appreciative of all you guys' hard work, all the content that gets thrown out there. Because I know, for us that are, tied up with older things in the regular life, we know that it's alive. We know that it's happening, that it's growing, there's new things going on. And this is all through you guys, man. And sometimes we may not show a like on the YouTube post or whatever, but we see it, man. I get an alert, a notification every time there's something from No Future, from Hefe, from Zombie, on YouTube or Lenster or whatever the case is, man. So I am appreciative of all the hard work you guys put in, man.
Following on him too, there is I was when we were hanging out the other night. He walked me through his Fake Gotchis collection, and I was really blown away, man. It was really cool to see inside of one of the top holders. I think he's in the 13th slot right now on the leaderboard, and 70 plus or some units, and has done a fucking fantastic job of curated collection. Like, it isn't just 20 of that collection or 10 of these. He is committed and gone through and decided which ones he wants to own and why, and he can tell you the story of acquisition of each and every piece. And it was really impressive to me because I don't have that many fakes and I'm not that deep. And so it was a reminder too that, like, this is also a really good Fake Gotchi shiller. He's gonna very easily be able to tell people why this shit's so energizing that he's eating ramen all the time.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I appreciate the kind words, Smoke Screens, and we appreciate doing this for the community. I think we're grateful to have the community we have. So I think it's time to show, like, people at these IRL events, like, what the Gotchi gang's like what do we value, what are our values, what do we what's our vibe. And I think we got the perfect crew here. We think this is like the essence of Gotchi gang, if you ask me, with everybody going to eat Denver right now.
Feels like a good group. All right. So
Yeah.
what else you got there for the marketing? Anything else in there?
So I think I just have some notes here. Speakers have not been set yet officially for Eat Denver. That could have changed since last week. I think we should see what speakers are going to be at Eat Denver confirmed, and then see if any of those speakers vibe with kind of what we're trying to market and position ourselves accordingly. I know one of the speakers, I think, was going to be Ernani from Orium. Is that right? No Future?
He's still waiting to hear back.
Okay.
They said that like 1,200 people applied, and I don't think anything's set in stone yet. So
Oh, shit. Okay.
there's 2 pieces of alchemica on my parcel.
Is it just me, or is this kind of odd that a month before a huge event like this, like they still don't know who's gonna be
Oh, it's
speaking?
totally just you.
This is normal. This is what drives me fucking nuts, man.
This
That's
is
fun.
normal, dude.
This is you land on
Oh,
your
man.
feet right at the last minute.
None of you were in New York. The ones that were in New York would understand what I did and like the level of dysfunction, not from our side, but just from that conference in general, and how we were able to like do something amazing and save Gotchi Gang like $5,000. But it's bred out of the dysfunction of these events. Like when I went to the Grail, not the Grail, the Polygon event on South Beach with Magic Eden, that shit was ridiculous. They had their setup. They had two like monitors, like big speakers, just pointing at each other in the back of the room. Like it wasn't like everything was put
That's
together
funny. They didn't know what they were for.
literally had their videographer and sound guy come up because he saw my equipment because I bring a cinema camera and all this other professional shit, and he offered to hire me because his people backed out. Like this shit is disorganized. So it's like that's why I'm trying to warn you guys. Like we're gonna be finding out about events day of. We're not gonna have a coherent list of things. I mean, maybe in the next week or two things start coming together a little more, but everything is like left to the very last minute. It's kind of
Man, we get 5 or 6 of us all wearing matching sweatpants at the same time, and that's going to be the most coordination of the whole event.
Jeez. Okay. Well, at least I'm not alone on that.
9 days. We have 9 days, so we can use the first day or two to plan and then really attack. Because everybody else is coming in, and they'll be coming in fresh, but we'll be ready to knock them down and be like, here's this information, just got you, pill them.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Coming off like a polished team. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so I'm glad to hear that. With Ernani, I hope he makes it to the list there, and we'll keep a close eye on that. I think this is one of those things. From what I'm hearing, this sounds like you plan for the best, and you hope for the best, and you plan for the worst, right? So, like that's as much as you can really do. So
I'm happy with where we're at. Yeah, like if anything, like Jesse's biz dev notes will help significantly, and then a lot of pre-meetings and a lot of pre-coms will help significantly, so that way when we get to ETH Denver, we already have a decent amount of contacts to be had just on the pre-met, and then we can do that field work and we'll be in good shape.
Yeah.
Real quickly, can I suggest that we make maybe one potential amendment to the core prop one if it passes and we're ready to go to core prop, and that would be to add like a risk. Like I've seen other core props do this, where it's like risk, like what are the risks in this endeavor?
It's funny you mentioned that because Hefe and I actually discussed that. Yeah, we discussed that.
Sheet. I'll pull it up.
Exactly, it's a scary sheet. It's not fun.
I just didn't put it in the core prop, but we did kind of go through this exercise.
Okay, cool. I just want to add it to the core prop so that we're being transparent. And I don't like saying the term "God forbid," but in that sense, if something does happen, we have our asses covered at least.
Well, that was the issue actually, is because some of them we were like, "Fuck, what would we do?" So like the biggest issues are travel catastrophes, right? If someone's en route and traveling and ends up with a flat tire or an engine that blows or a fucking delayed flight and it ruins that whole situation, there's not really a contingency for that. That's gonna have to kind of be self-managed in that circumstance for that individual. And that is why the risk sheet is a little bit dangerous to discuss, because there's so many variables about this execution that are completely outside of our control, that there are blind spots for us. There are true vulnerabilities that we may not be able to account for. Our job is to just adjust and deal with it as necessary. Would be the solution to that risk sheet.
Yeah, it's an easy argument against, because it's like, well, this could have all been avoided if you guys moved faster. The Dow. It's not. We had a plan.
True. No, and you're right. And if anything, we have produced a very robust proposal anyway, and rounding it out with a positive of the budget adjustments for our benefit, and then even a negative with potential risks and showing some of our ass. It's going to end up being a very substantial proposal here. This is well done for our first effort on this kind of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually pulled up the risk sheet here for everybody to look at. We have 4 questions here on the sheet. We've only run through 2 of them so far. The other 2, I'm hoping we can get that sorted out in the next 7 to 10 days. We can figure out the answers exactly to what these other two questions are going to be. So the first question here is: have the appropriate milestones and schedule been selected for the project? And so we have like a general idea. We had enough detail to get the proposal together, but we do need more granularity in that aspect. We need to have like the maybe not the exact schedule, because like No Future said, there's going to be things that come up on the day of or the day before, and that's okay. We should make sure we have time available for that, but we should know like what are the big key events we want to be at. Like I know one off the top of my head is we want to be at the Biddler's Palace, because that's where all like the the developer bounties are issued. And if we're going to be issuing bounties from Aavegotchi, we want to have like a good presence, like a decent presence there, especially if we're going to have someone like Cookie Thief as like a dev rep. So we'll want to have someone like that there. For example, that would be a milestone. Another one would be like the coffee shop event. That would be a milestone to make sure the coffee shop event goes as planned. And so we kind of have some of these ideas in our heads, but kind of want to get that on paper. And so, yeah, I don't know. Do we really want to run through everything right now? I guess I'll just link the.
No, just kind of highlight it
Yeah.
and just talk, just show its existence, cherry pick some things right now to discuss per this call, so we can get some kind of group feedback and reference. And then what we'll do is we'll grind this weekend and get our final polish pieces, because we got to do the Airbnb discussion too. So we'll get to this final polish portion and then talk about it on the potential core prop for Sunday deployment.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we talk about how the risks been identified by the project team, and have they been documented in the risk list. So we start populating a list of all these different things that could happen. Some of these are totally out of our control. Like something could happen, and for example, like one of the ones here is No Future. For example, you're flying with your equipment, and somehow they fuck up the baggage, and now it ends up somewhere where it's not. That's not in your control. There's nothing we can do about that. But there are risks where we can mitigate.
Well, I've already, because I'm neurotic about these things, I've already packed stuff I need that I don't currently need to stream. So I'm gonna try to, like, the bags that I check in are gonna be infrastructure shit, like like microphones that I can live without, tripods, cables, stuff like that. But like I will be able to make sure that I get there, unless like the plane explodes or some shit. There's going to be 2 bags with me, most likely on the plane, full of like the most important camera gear that I have.
Okay, yeah, cool. So like this is the kind of exercise that maybe we should go through. Like I just presented a risk, and then you kind of told me, all right, I can mitigate this risk this way. So if we have something like that in the proposal, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Oh, god damn, Lakiest. If the plane explodes, we'll just save the money, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I want the grandest fountain if the plane explodes.
The future parcel decorations.
I could totally commit to that. That's an easy lift.
But yeah, those are the risks there. We can work on that list. We can kind of like mitigate each one of those, and then pick out a handful of like really pertinent ones, and we can put them in our proposal. So
T-Bird, make sure you come over for breakfast at one point in time too, man. We do definitely have a breakfast budget set up, and so lunch and dinners, everyone else's concern, self fulfilling there, but we'll have some breakfast armory.
If we can hit a like a supermarket and I can get all the shit I need, we're good. Second question, in terms of streams, I know there's going to be a few of us that want to stream. I think for the sake of like keeping everything smooth, we should just stream to GMI or directly to Aavegotchi if they allow us to do that.
I'm hoping we can stream through GMI. I mean, like we've done a great job showing the community we can be consistent with our live streams. So I don't see any reason why we can't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm advocating for that, just to keep it simple, because if I have a stream and you have a stream and Zombie has a stream, we've just divided our bandwidth 3 ways, where we should try, unless we have like super internet, we should probably just keep it simple.
Well, it is something I'm going to look at in terms of the parameters for the Airbnb potential upgrades. If we can get 5 bedrooms and severe internet, then that'd be the ultra win. But yeah, that's a hope, not a guarantee. I still am getting over Linkiest comment there.
I said it first, so it's not his fault.
I know, I'm just fucking grilling him. It's what happens when you show up late, right? You become the fun one for the evening.
Yeah, so okay, marketing, just gonna finish that up here real quick. We got pamphlets. That's a good idea. I think that was brought up, maybe a 2 or 3 panel design. It'd be easy to hand out. in addition to stickers, we could even like do like a little kit where you have a pamphlet with like 2 stickers inside it.
So I'll be the first to say it too, right? It's like nothing that we're gonna do has anything to do with QR codes.
Okay.
Like we're not gonna be using QR codes. We're not gonna have people scanning QR codes. It's not gonna be how we promote. We're gonna use standards.
Okay, that's good to know. Stickers with links to the Aavegotchi web. So the Aavegotchi app, I think, would be the best place. And I think logistically, what I discussed with Jesse at least, and I'll follow up with him on this, is we could possibly have the landing page. Like we plan to set up a landing page for the whole like Gotchi Lodge event. We could have that linked potentially to the Aavegotchi DApp, so we could just direct people straight to the DApp. And now they have access to the DApp, plus they know exactly where to go for the Eat Denver landing page. And the landing page could have details on where we are for that day, when we're going to be doing our live streams. It could have links to previous live streams. It could have links to the coffee shop event. It could have links to like the merch, where you could buy it, or where you could find us selling the merch. That sort of thing. Any sort of event updates could be on the landing page, and then we could also have some just basic onboarding information for Aavegotchi. What would be pertinent to a developer, right? That's the sort of information that should be on there. A developer maybe looking to get into Aavegotchi.
Offhand, do we know what the GitHub link is? Is it like github.com/Aavegotchi? Like, do they have the hookup to have it that simple, or is it going to be like some alphanumeric like fuckery?
No, it's a pretty simple link, kind of like Notion. So github.com whatever / probably Aavegotchi something. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it looks like a Notion link almost. So yeah, we can definitely make sure that's part of the deal. And I'm gonna reach out to Cookie Thief if he's gonna be attending this event. He's interested in coming. I think it'd be interesting for him to put together some sort of a bounty, or even if another dev in the Aavegotchi community wants to put together some sort of a bounty for a dev to take on. I think Aavegotchi could happily.
There's definitely 2 minigame Biddles requests right off the top of my head. I won't spoil them here publicly. I'll actually shut my mouth on these, but I have 2 friends who have reached out to me independently who have like, hey, listen, I've got this particular creation that I would love to source a dev for, and so I'll talk to you on the back end of that, and those can be sponsored bounties.
Perfect. Okay, let's catch up on that. Sponsored bounties. Just gonna add that to the list here.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
Would you guys? We're getting part of our gear is hats and shirts, right? We're all gonna have sort of the same hat. Maybe just as a GMI thing, would you guys be interested? And we could self-fund this. Everybody can chip in to get like a badge made, like a circular badge or a square, something we could pin to the hat to make it special because this is the first real IRL.
100%. 100%. Well, and I'd even almost ask how much further y'all want to go with it. Like I know I've brought up in the team chat those goofy construction vests or those safety vests, because those are very, very cheap and you can get them custom printed on the back, and something that signifies that we're all there as part of this same effort is very meaningful for sure. That's something I want to do. So yeah, let's another action item to settle that out. We'll figure out what the thing is that we need to get. GMI badge sounds dope.
The vest is cool, but it might overshadow like a bright green.
Yeah, I don't know how cool it is really, but well, it's something like it. It doesn't even have to be that. It could be like a Chinese import $15 windbreaker. It could be something that's just a very lightweight, non-critical apparel item.
Yeah, just as long as it doesn't overshadow Aavegotchi, because I don't think that's the intent.
We'll have to see if we can get some pins. I think if I'm lucky here, I'll get my 3 handmade metal gotchis from Leonardo de Gacci. They've made it across the ocean, so they're on their way to me somehow. So may have some cool trinkets. I know in the future you got a couple pretty rare things. I've got one of those keychains as well, and we'll have all of our direct swag with us. And I think Lost Locals show up like Santa Claus, and he'll hook us up pretty well too.
I'm bringing my Gotchi polo shirt. There's only one in the world.
Nice. Yeah.
Got it directly from Jesse.
Very cool. All right, let's just touch up on some additional business here. I think we've covered all our bases with Eat Denver for this meeting here. Let's just catch up on additional business, and then we can wrap it up. It shouldn't take too long. And so, additional.
Just
Yeah,
one
go
quick
ahead.
thing for me, just before I forget about it. Zombie, with the merch shop, do they have things like the pins? Would they have things like little physical trinkets that we could potentially print on demand through them?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they have enamel pens. They have hats. They have windbreakers. I don't think they have friendship bracelets. I was just joking.
All right, well, cool. We'll check out and see what they got there then too. We'll see what Lost Local has too. But sometimes with some of these, it feels like he's going to the same production sources we are anyway. Thanks, Zefi. Yeah, anything you want to look in that regard, we'll find something to do. Be dope.
Yeah. Additional business here. It says talk to PC about having the Aavegotchi landing page have direct links. Yeah, so we just discussed that. Crew 3 and Guild. So these are some GMI tools that I was looking at that could be really good for engagement. And so one of the things that I wanted to do, I am going to be making a comeback to GMI here shortly. And one of the things that I thought would be interesting for the server is to have this to adopt this Crew 3 platform, and this was brought to me by Gotchi Farmy. So shout out to them. This is something they're already using, so we can kind of touch base with them on how they're using it. But basically, it's an onboarding tool similar to the Aavegotchi missions. If you guys remember that, if you guys were here around for the early Aavegotchi missions to get the agent set, you would have specific tasks you had to do in their Discord to get verified and get XP for those things. And once you had accrued enough XP, you'd be able to get the agent set. And so this is something GMI could do. I think what we could do is basically have specific tasks, Discord related tasks, small engagement tasks that issue some XP, and then at the end of every month we could have like this XP leaderboard, and we can gift like our top 3 contributors with either a cool NFT, could be one of our OG NFTs, could be a fake Gotchi, could be some Alchemica tokens, but just a nice little light reward and fun little engagement tool. So Crew 3 is something I'm looking at, maybe something we can experiment.
I think quite a few of us in here have probably already dove into the GFA quests they've had online now. It's actually quite engaging. If you go look at their leaderboard, like I'm so far out of this shit. Like they are really doing a great job of engaging their server and having brought new blood into their server. Quite honestly, good on them.
Yeah, and so if we look at the Gotchi Farmy, the way they have it set up, it's actually really interesting.
Just quick alpha there too. GFA is currently open for minting of their 4th insignia, and so their insignias are essentially their guild badges. And so they're on their 4th iteration right now. They're always in limited batches. And so right now it's a minimum of 10 ghost to mint one. You're able to name your own price above that, but it's a 10 ghost minimum. I did mint mine earlier this morning, and I think that there was 63 units available left to be minted. So just if you don't have any exposure to GFA yet, it's probably not the worst idea, because they've been here since the beginning and they continue to build.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that, how far they've gone with this Crew 3 DApp here. They got Gotchi Friends Social Army, so, daily connect with join Discord for 50 XP, follow us on Twitter for 50 XP, invite Crew 3 friends, so you can invite 5 friends from the Crew 3 community, subscribe to YouTube channel, follow on Twitch. Like, these are just great little easy things that people can do to earn this XP, and they're using this to track engagement on their platform. So I think this is perfect for what GMI is doing, and could breed some new life into our server if we can really gamify this and have some really cool prizes up for grabs.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. It's been enjoyable exploring it through the GFA platform. I can imagine some exposure on the outward of that. There's probably just a quick sidebar. There's probably some synergy we could do there with Bowtied Nerd talking about the text-based RPG coming as well.
Oh, do you want me to drop the alpha on that?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's worth go ahead and letting this creative group start having their brains twirling.
Okay, because I'm gonna kind of suggest something on top of his idea that I did send him the link right before this call, but I've been looking at this DApp. It's an AI dungeon builder, and so this is basically text-based role play, but it's assisted by AI, so it helps you. And so
Oh, cool. So we're already done then.
yeah, so it basically it kind of lightens the load for how quickly we can get this going. So instead of like building a DApp and doing all that, what you would do is you go here, you go quick start, you'd say, okay, I want a custom setting, and now it says enter a prompt that describes who you are, and the first couple sentences of where you start out is recommended that you switch to story mode to avoid unintended changes to your prompt. And so you would say you put in a prompt like I'm the knight in this kingdom, blah blah blah. You're doing this, and then that's how you start the story, and then you go and type in what happens next, and then the whole thing's AI assisted, so it makes this process a lot smoother. And yeah, I think there's even a Discord integration.
We're the generation that's going to teach Chat GPT about Aavegotchi.
Yeah, exactly.
There's also a little bit of
all kinds of stuff they can add here.
There's some Horizon Alpha that I saw the other day on Twitter that GPT-4, the fourth iteration of the generative pre-trained text machine engine that runs ChatGPT. GPT-4 is apparently right around the corner. GPT-3 right now is using something like 15 billion parameters, and GPT-4 is going to be using 100 trillion parameters. It's supposed to make ChatGPT look like just a
4-year-old.
Just a poor dumb child that's gonna get real serious real soon.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see that unfold. But you can already see great tools like this, and I'm going to talk to Bowtied Nerd about seeing if he wants to, if he wants to play with this and see how this goes, or if we're actually going to go out and build a Aavegotchi DApp for text-based roleplay, or if we're going to do it more just like grassroots in the server. So we'll figure out the format, the delivery, and I think GMI is going to really get behind that. I think it's up our alley. So
dig it, cool stuff there, man.
Yeah. And then last thing here that I want to mention before we kind of wrap up here is Wonderverse does have a meme bounty out. This is the Wonderverse. So Wonderverse proper, the creator of their DApp, is they put out this bounty. Let's see if I can get it to open up here. Liquid staked ETH, LS ETH meme competition. First prize is 500 USD. Second prize is 200 USD. Third prize is 100 USD. And so it's pretty easy to enter. I think, it'd be a fun thing for somebody who is meme savvy to drop this in their Moonrock Discord channel and, get the memes on Twitter. Maybe there's a GMI angle on this. I don't know. But I thought I'd just get it out to anybody who knows how to make dank memes. It seems like a pretty low bar. So.
Oh, it's pretty. One. The space is still very calm right now. There's no one really working. So if you got some creativity left in you, there's probably some easy entries. You'll be probably one of 10, maybe no more than 20, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and it's free money. Anytime there's something like that, I'll shoot my shot too. So you guys are welcome to go for that as well. I think it's always good to know about those opportunities.
Well, I'm happy with this effective ass meeting. Lots of good discussion.
Oh yeah, I think this is good. I don't think we need to go through the open action items right now.
Nothing crazy, but we're culminating. When we are all in person in Denver, we'll have our big hoop and haw about what we're actually doing with GMI in terms of incorporation and structure. So just kind of researching from here till then, and then once we get to shake hands and decide we actually like each other, we'll move forward with the structuring.
Right. Yep. All right. Okay.
We're all secretly concerned, Hefe. You're gonna just be the strangest of sons of bitches once we finally get to see you.
Oh, I'm the strangest one of them all. Why do you think I'm this mask?
I dig it.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be good. It'll be a pleasure to meet everybody, and it's there's some big changes happening in my life, so I think I might be able to actually go live soon here and have more of a Web3 presence. Well, what better way to kick that off than with your friends at Eat Denver. So I'm all for it.
Well, I appreciate everyone hanging out with us tonight. A lot of big full house here. Appreciate everyone just in general supporting us along the way for this proposal and just having enough faith in us that we can try to at least have the shot to try to pull this shit out. But I'm very excited about what we're going to see happen at ETH Denver.
Oh, absolutely! I have a good feeling about this. All the energies are going to come together, and we're gonna have a strong presence at ETH Denver. So we'll definitely make the DAO proud. That's for sure.
Chill moment here. Does anybody in the room have anything that they want to kind of highlight or get us attention on or get some awareness of? And then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Oh yeah, the snack, hot curly fry. I think that's gone through the queue, right? Is that up for sale now? Can you buy that? Your piece, if it got your piece.
Nice.
Starts tomorrow.
Nice. All right, beat of the week's on Ooh La La. There you go. This is yeah, there you go. Yeah, you need to pay attention to the Web3 musical movement. It's happening, and some of the pioneers of it are right here in this room with us. So please don't sleep on that one, because you'll feel silly later when you go, "Fuck, I was with those guys."
Yep, no, totally. I was listening, FaZe. I was listening to that. I was jamming out to that right before our block party session today. So, yeah.
I just quickly wanted to bring something up that we and Michaelium and I conversated about the other night, and I forgot about it, and it came back right now. So before I forget again, in regards to the fakes, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the day that fakes actually do something in the Gotchiverse. They either give value to your parcel, or there's some type of incentive, or I don't know, some type of something there that motivates or incentivizes landowners to display the fakes in the Gotchiverse. This way, it'll probably motivate some of the artists also to, because I got tons of fakes right now, and I'm scrambling to get all displays to get them in the Gotchiverse. So something there for the artists also to promote their fakes as well, as far as like including a display maybe for like the first couple of holders, in order to start creating that traffic, as far as needing or wanting to display your fakes in the Gotchiverse. So I hope I kind of made sense on what I was trying to say there. But
well, let me spin off of that too, actually, because you just reminded me of something I spent this morning at the Rah NFT Awards for 2022, and it was not a lot of people there, quite honestly. Rah's still undiscovered as a like to earn curation platform. But it was really dope to see what they're doing, because unfortunately in my head all I could think about was just vampiring their best ideas into our fake Gotchi world. And so we need to have a social mechanic in place that allows the community to just popular vote which pieces it likes the most. And then there can be some potential rewards that could be occurring that based on holding and or displaying like the one NFT that we all as a community decide is the baddest shit out there. There's lots of opportunities to watch fakes grow. I think that Zombie was talking earlier with ZFi in the week on Tuesday, talking about potential voting rights that could be offered, not necessarily within the Aavegotchi ecosystem, but maybe something totally externally, but recognizing the fake Gotchi holders. So yeah, and you see FaZe going crazy in there too. There's definitely a lot of awareness for the expansion of the fake Gotchi recognitions. All right, Hefe, get us out of here, my friend.
Yeah, we're good here. We'll catch up tomorrow, 2 p.m. UTC. We'll see y'all at the Hangout. If we don't see you then, Sunday, same time, same place, 2 p.m. UTC for the DAO call. That's all we got.
All right, friends. Thank you all very much. Nice little hour and a half call. Get out of here. Appreciate your support, and we'll see you in the morning.
Later, friends. Peace.